Hi, welcome to Stand With Us. I'm Roz Rothstein, your host, and we're here with AbeHaak today. I'm very excited. I think you will be too. Abe is from Jordan. He was actually born in Jordan and came to the United States when he was 17 and has lived here ever since. He's also lived in Saudi Arabia and also in Egypt, so he's very well versed in sort of the anti-Semitism and the upbringing that people have in the Middle East. And we're going to talk about that a little bit and what your perspective is today and the journey that you've traveled. And I look forward to that. But before we do, I just want to say happy birthday, Stand With Us. We actually are celebrating our 13-year anniversary this month, May of 2014. So it's very exciting. And in honor of our birthday, well, this is always true, so you can always order something for free from us, but especially in honor of our birthday, we are going to send you for free, no cost, just for the asking, say, happy birthday, Stand With Us, and we will send you the brochure of your choice. So you can ask for pocket facts, you can ask for 25 short questions to tough questions about, 25 short answers to tough questions about Israel, and we will send it to you at no cost. So send a note to shipping@standwithus.com, and we will send you something for nothing. And I'm sure you will enjoy it and share it with your friends. So, Abe, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
So it's very exciting to have you here. Let's start from the beginning. You grew up in Jordan.
I was born in Jordan, and I lived there most of my life. That's the family seat. And but I lived in different other, in countries in the Middle East. And I came here as a student in my teenage years, and it was a transformative trip in many ways to come to the United States. Not the least of which was how my views about not only Israel but the Middle East in general, about the country of my birth, the general Arab and Islamic culture that I grew up in, was transformed.
So you grew up immersed in a certain kind of belief about Israel, about the Jewish people, and we're curious to hear about that. We have some idea, of course. We've been looking at this for the 13 years of Stand With Us, but we want to hear from you. What did you grow up around?
Well, it's very standard. I didn't receive any sort of special upbringing. It was a mainstream upbringing that most, if not all, Arab children grow up with, that portrays Israel essentially as the enemy of the Arab people, as a racist, expansionist, imperialist, colonialist state. I could pile on the adjectives there. But and it dehumanizes the Jewish people in general. It denies their history. It denies their connection to the land of Israel. And it demonizes them, in short. So, and that's what I received, and that's what every child receives.
So it's not so much that it was some specific deliberate thing. It was just all around you, sort of. It was the way that you were led to believe about.
Yeah, but it's both. It's implicit and explicit. It's done by the parents and by the general atmosphere and by the culture, the songs, but it's also done through textbooks and through the mosques and through news organizations and newspapers and books and poetry, everything. It's an immersive experience. Growing up to hate Israel is an immersive experience in the Middle East. You don't escape it. Even when you're in Israel, you don't escape it. When I was a kid, I traveled in Israel several times with my parents, but I was unable to make any contact with Israelis at the time, and the sources or the data that would challenge that view or that upbringing is not available. Maybe until recently. I believe that the new media, Web 2, new social media is changing that. There's suddenly access to alternative points of view, but it's not, the impact will probably take a long time. But it is really thorough. They say you get it with your mother's milk. Hatred not only of Israel, but of Zionism and of Jews in general. And in the Middle East, there is the word Jew, Zionist, and Israeli are used interchangeably, mostly Jews. And so it's complete, and it covers one's life, from all directions.
Can you give us a specific example when you said it's covert, it's overt, it's deliberate, it's you're surrounded by it? Can you give us one or two or five examples?
Okay. Well, there is, if you want to call somebody a name, you say Yehudi, you Jew, just that alone. Just like the Turkish prime minister the other day, when he got into a scuffle with one of the demonstrators, he called him, I think, spawn of Israel or something like that. So and by the way, it is Islamic as much as it is Arabic. And this Islam contributes to that in both doctrinally and attitudinally. But that, calling someone a name. I went to one of maybe the best school in the kingdom, in Jordan, in the last 2 or 3 years of my upbringing. And for example, one of the teachers saw or thought it fit to bring a copy of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion to class. It was not in the curriculum, but he thought it was just, another extracurricular activity.
So I'm going to stop you for a moment. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with AbeHaak and more examples of how you grew up in Jordan. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.